Hi guys, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm doing October 22nd through the 28th, and I'm using this kit from my shop called STEM, and it's just like a science engineering kit. These are full boxes, the washi page, some half boxes and quarter boxes, and then a functionals page. This isn't the full kit, but this is just what I pulled and actually printed out. So you can see me starting to do my setup. If you see some issues with the printing, that's because my printer decided to hate me. So I just left it. I didn't mind how it looked, so I just used it this way. And so I'm just putting in the dates, and I'm going to put down the date covers. And then as I get started, I realized I forgot to put down my whiteout to cover up the dates. That's just because it's a recollections planner, so the dates go a little bit higher than they do in the Erin Condren. So I'm just going to do that. So this week was pretty busy, I think, which is not too surprising. Most of my weeks I feel like end up being really busy, but I'm just filling in all of the information as we go day by day, and I pulled a bunch of the things that I have as extras, and I didn't actually end up using that much this week. It was mostly just the kit, which I actually kind of like. So here, apparently I just sucked at cutting. I use a slice tool to cut. I don't actually have a silhouette or anything, so sometimes I suck at it. So I am just finishing up with these date covers, and then we can move on to the sidebar. Oh, sorry, that was my phone going off. Hopefully it's not too loud. Before we move on to the sidebar, I decided to do a washi banner again this weekend, for the weekend, and I went to put the ruler down so that the washi doesn't stick to the date covers, but it didn't really work when I had nothing there. So I figured that I would just get started putting a few things down. So this washi is, I think, from Michael's, from one of those like 3 for $1 bins. I really like this one. It's very neutral, which I enjoy, and so it goes with a lot of different things. So I'm just sticking the ruler underneath, and then I just need the page to stay down, so I'm using my whiteout just to hold down the page because the ruler is long and heavy. So this is a kind of shiny blue Scotch Expressions tape. I'm not exactly sure where I got it. I think my mom gave it to me. Probably from Target would be my best guess. Definitely a place that you can get it, if nothing else. So I'm just kind of overlapping these things as we go. So other things that I need to talk about. I'm not really sure what else there is to talk about. This was another week of curling, our second week of curling. My husband had an ambulance shift that he was working, so he was gone for all of Monday evening, but that was all right. I just kind of had a quiet night on my own. I thought about calling some friends up and we might go out or something, but I just needed some time to basically lay in my bed and do nothing. So here I'm pulling one of the strips of washi from the actual kit and putting this down. It's kind of like a chalkboard gray color. I thought that it really integrated the colors from the kit well. This is plain green washi. I think that I got this at AC Moore as part of a set. It's probably the most boring of all the ones in the set, but it's a really good color to go with this kit. So this kit was inspired by my dad. His birthday was this Friday that I'm doing this week for, so the 26th. And he's an engineer, and we always did like science engineering things together, so I thought that it would work out perfectly. This washi I think also came from Michael's, this arrow one, and then I'm just pulling like a little piece of another strip of washi from the kit that's in this like kind of gold color, just to bring that color into the washi, because otherwise it's just not there. So I'm just going to trim everything, which since the ruler's already there is pretty easy, and then I can just pull everything off with the ruler. So I'm going to pull up the weekend banner that comes with the kit, and I'm going to put it down on top. And then I realized that I did a terrible job of lining it up, so I have to pull it off and try again. So I try lining up at one end, which works a little bit better, but apparently I just sucked at laying down stickers this week, but that's fine. Alright, so that's my weekend banner. So now moving on to the sidebar, I'm picking which of the full boxes I want to use on the sidebar. I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go, but eventually I made a decision. Apparently decision making was also challenging. So if you use this 6th line down on the recollections, it lines up perfectly. So I use this like little idea image, And then I didn't print the page that has the habit trackers on it, so I just need to make my own habit tracker. So I used this gold label, and then I found my pen from wherever I lost it. And I'm just going to make a few little boxes, which I did terribly at spacing out, but that's fine. And I was just tracking my exercise. So I checked those off pretty soon because I've already finished this week, obviously. So my work is across the street from a hospital, so you can hear the ambulances in the background, potentially. I'm doing this from my office today. So I'm flipping through some books because I didn't print off the page with the full box checklists. So I needed to pull one from somewhere. So I just laid down this little header washi. It kind of looks like a corkboard. And then I pull this one from an American Crafts book that says do all the things, and it's kind of like ombre from red to yellow, and I thought that really went well with the kit. And then I need to figure out what I want to do for the rest of the sidebar. And so I'm flipping back through that same book, trying to figure out if there's something. These would work, but they have rounded corners, so then they'll show the color behind. Flipping through a bunch more pages. So I have a bunch of these different books. And I just try to find something. And then I decide, well, maybe the purple's not so bad, so I could use something clear that shows it through. And then I was like, no, I don't like that. So this was kind of a struggle, but we'll get there eventually. So I get through that book and can't find anything. This is a Happy Planner book that was for the holidays. And then I ended up opening up the Happy Planner like Goal Digger one. And I pulled this one that says work hard and dream big. And I thought it kind of went with the colors of the kit. And so there's a little bit of extra space on the sidebar if I just put this down. So I just pulled a couple of the headers and put them at the top and the bottom, and then I mostly end up covering those up, but that's fine. So I just put that down, and then I decided that it would be a good idea to start at the top of each day with a header just to go underneath the date covers. So I'm just pulling all the headers out now to put them down over each day before we start our day by day. So I realized when I flipped it over that I'd already put down the washi banner for the weekend, but I thought it would be a good idea to put the headers underneath it anyway for the weekend and just kind of leave those boxes with just the washi in them. All right, so now I go back and fill in my weekend or my sidebar because I realized that I had already done all the things, so I might as well fill it in. Excuse me, talking is apparently difficult. So I just had a few things to fill in. I was trying to remember what I did during the week. I actually use a bullet journal for my day-to-day experiences and write down all my to-do lists in there. And so I reference back to that when I'm going through my weekly planner and filling everything in day by day. All right, so now I'm going to start with the Monday daily plan. So I'm pulling one of the pages because I wanted a half box. So I'm putting down this half box. It's like a computer like chip. And so I'm just writing in that I had to deal with emails, and then I write down a few different kinds. So I had a bunch of student emails, and then I had a few other emails that I needed to deal with. So then I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. So I look at all the solid boxes, and I end up pulling one of these like gold half boxes. And I'm putting that down at the bottom, and I'm just using that to mark my husband's shift so that I don't forget. He was gone from 6 to 11. He was actually out until almost midnight. And so I needed to remember that I was on my own for dinner and the evening. So right above that, I end up putting the full box. It's like a book with a magnifying glass and a pen. I really like this one. I think that is really cute. And you can kind of see the stripe from my printer, but whatever, that's fine. Above that, I put in one of these dark gray half boxes. So this is like chalkboard gray. And I fill in, I filmed my plan with me, and I also filmed a haul on that day. I had plenty of time to myself, so I had time to post all of that. So I ended up posting the haul last Wednesday and the plan with me last Monday. That was last week's plan with me. And then I put down another header just to cover up the colored header that comes in the planner. And then I decided to use another solid, this time a quarter box, in like the greenish color from the chip. And I'm putting that down. I don't remember exactly what I had to mark there. Oh, I worked on crochet. I was finishing up a project, so I just marked that down. And then I had like this little box left over, and I realized I needed to mark that I met with some students. And so I'm flipping through that same Gold Digger book from the Happy Planner, and I'm pulling one of these little labels that says appointment. It's a little arrow. There was a meeting one, but it was red, which really didn't go, so I just put an appointment, and then I just wrote down students, or meet with students there. So that's Monday. So now moving on to Tuesday. Again, I feel like I was very indecisive. Part of it was that my husband was like talking to me the whole time I was recording this, but part of it is just I was indecisive. So I'm starting out with one of these labels, and I'm putting that at the bottom, and I'm just marking that we had a curling game that night. It was an early game, which just means that we have to be on the ice at 6:30. If it's a late game, we have to be there at 8:45, so definitely prefer early games. So I'm just marking a couple of little things about that. I put a heart one down, and then I also put down a little meal one. So I'm just marking that we went to, sorry, that's my computer going off. I marked down that we went to DeBella's for dinner, and then we went to Kung Fu for bubble tea afterwards, and we brought the bubble tea with us to curling. I don't actually usually put bubbles in my bubble tea. It's usually just tea, but still. So now I'm flipping through this little book that I got from Michael's, and I'm just trying to find a sticker that I want to use, but I don't like any of the options, and I'm too lazy to look through most of the rest of my stickers that are sitting right there. So I just pull a half box, and I put that down next. And then I am looking at the back of the holidays one or the seasons one, and I end up finding this little asterisk that's in like this yellow orange color, so which goes pretty well. It really bothers me that this box is not straight, but I ended up just leaving it, and it's close enough. So I need to mark down that I need to do some laundry, and I actually managed to fold it on the same day, which is excellent and does not always happen, to be honest. So I realized I forgot to cut all the little bottom part of these flag checklists, so I had to do that, and then apparently I cut down the side badly as well. So I have to pull that out. So I'm putting that up at the top, starting back at the top now, and I'm just writing down a bunch of tasks that I had to do during the day. So I had student emails. I'm not exactly sure what else I ended up doing. I had to mail my dad's birthday card because his birthday was this past Friday. I worked on my crochet. I did some designing for my shop. And then I also had to RSVP to a class that I'm taking this, what's now my current week. And then I had to deal with some other miscellaneous emails. So I'm just marking these down. They're definitely not in chronological order, but that's totally fine. I put down another header, and then I was choosing another full box. I try to spread out the colors and also the designs pretty well, so I ended up going with this one that looks like a computer chip, and I covered up part of the header to keep the spacing the way that I wanted it to be. Okay, so Wednesday, I put down a little thing first. I started working part-time with a second job, so I just needed to write down my shifts for that. And then I wanted to put down a half box after that, which I also cut badly apparently. And so this half box is goes with the like thankful thought full box that I used. And I am writing down on there that I worked on my thesis, so I'm trying to finish up my PhD, so thesis writing. I then put down a quarter box, and I marked that I detangled and washed my hair. I don't always end up writing that down, but I had the space, so I ended up writing it down for Wednesday. Detangling my hair doesn't always happen, to be honest. It tends to get a little bit crazy, but that's totally fine. All right, I'm pulling out another quarter box now, which I also terribly cut, and I'm laying that down, and I'm filling in on there. I'm not sure what I'm filling in. I'm filling in that I did a daily burn bar workout that was so killer on my legs. I was so sore for days, but it was totally worth it, and it was pretty fun, even if I was in a lot of pain. I then put down a solid quarter box, and I am just marking that I posted some Instagram posts. So I posted about my haul, and I also posted my midweek from the previous week. And then another solid one, this time in the dark gray. And I'm trying to look back at my bullet journal. That's why you see me moving things around on the edge. And I dealt with some emails. And then I'm putting down another quarter box, and that covers up the printed header. And I worked on reading Why Not Me, which is by Mindy Kaling. I really enjoyed that one. And then I pulled a full box that actually ends up matching that half box, or almost matching that half box, but totally fine. I think it looks great. So I put that down. So then I start on Thursday, and I decided to put the full box at the top, so I'm just putting that down first. This is the airplane one. It's the only one that's in blue, so I thought that it was a good choice to put in the middle, and also with the bottom washi being blue, I kind of wanted it to be separated. So then I am going to put in a label. So I'm just trimming that, and I'm putting that down on the bottom, and that's marking our curling game for Thursday. So we had another early game, so I just marked that down. And then I remembered that I forgot to mark that on Wednesday we went out for sushi. We frequently go out on Wednesdays. So I ended up just putting that over the full box, which since it's a pattern is totally fine. So I marked that, and then back on Thursday, I am pulling out one of the headers and doing badly at it clearly, but I'll get there in the end. This is why I try to speed these up so that you don't have to watch me struggle. All right, so I put that down below the full box. And then I am putting in these little things again. This is just gonna mark my shifts for Thursday and Friday. So I'm just putting those in on both days now because it just seems easier to do it that way. So then I'm looking to fill out the rest of Thursday. So I pull out a quarter box. This one's kind of like the computer chip one again. And I worked on my thesis draft again. So I have probably a couple hundred pages to write. So thesis draft is happening pretty much every day, or at least it should be happening every day. So I'm trying to be good about that. And then pull in a blue quarter box. I really enjoy these pattern quarter boxes. So I'm trying to use a lot of those just because I really enjoy them. So I'm putting that one down, and I am marking that I had to pick up my teaching award. I received that a little bit while ago, but I need to pick up the certificate to go with it. I then pull a half box in, and this is just to mark that I'm meeting with students. I had 3 groups of students to meet with, so it was basically like 3 hours of time. So I just put that in, and then I'm figuring out what I want to put for the remainder of the day. So I end up pulling this label and putting that in, and I use that to mark that I dealt with a bunch of student emails again, and then I pull another meals little thing. I don't use these every day, but when we eat out, I tend to use them, so I put that in. That fit perfectly. So we went out for dinner at Panera before the curling match. All right, on to Friday. I already put down the work label, obviously, and now I'm putting down a half box, and I am going back through that same like seasons happy planner set, and I'm looking at the birthday page because it was my dad's birthday. So I pull this candle that's green. It's not the same green as in the kit, but I felt like it really went with it. And I needed my tweezers to help me lay it down, so I had to find those. So I just put that down, and then I'm just gonna write happy birthday dad in there. So it was his birthday, so I just wanted to mark that, and I felt like it was important, so I needed a half box. So I'm looking back through what else I have left, and I'm pulling another quarter box. This one is covering up the header from the kit. And I am filling in that I did emails. I had a little extra space, so I just left an exclamation point because I had a lot of emails to deal with. That's how many of my days go, I feel like. All right, and then another half box, and I don't remember what I'm putting down here. So this week, as I said, I was way too lazy, so I didn't pull out a lot of character stickers or anything. I did design work. That's what I'm marking down. Then I'm looking at the full box options and trying to figure out what I think will fit well. And then I'm trying to remember what I put on the first half. So I feel like this engine kind of goes with the gears that were on Wednesday, so I put that down next. And then I'm on to the evening. So I'm putting down another one of these little meal little things. We ended up eating out a lot this week. It's just kind of how the week went. So I'm marking that. We went for Korean food. And then I'm putting another one of the heart little things because we also got bubble tea again. And then I am putting at the bottom a little quarter box because afterwards we went to BJ's and Target so that we could get candy for Halloween and a couple other things that we needed. So they can just share a box. All right, moving on to the weekend, I am pulling out the last 2 full boxes. So this one is like a bunch of math, basically, written in green on black, and then also some math on a chalkboard. So I just put those both down in the same row because I felt like it kind of fit with the weekend banner at the top. So then I'm putting down headers again, and then for Saturday I'm pulling a quarter box. Our Saturday overall was pretty lazy, so there was not a lot going on, which is also why I could put all of these things here. So I posted my new kit, which was actually this kit that I'm using right now. I then put down a label in this pretty blue color, and I am marking that I got summoned for jury duty, which was definitely a frowny face. I believe in my civic duty, but it's also really annoying and comes at a bad time. And then finally I started my new crochet project on Saturday. For Sunday, I put down a quarter box to mark that I did couponing, and then we also had some grocery shopping to do and a couple other errands, so I just marked those all together. And then I am pulling one of the pattern quarter boxes, and I am marking, I think, yep, film plan with me. So I filmed this plan with me. I'm doing the voiceover on Monday, but I did the filming on Sunday. And then I'm putting in another quarter box way at the bottom. And this one just says cleaning. We had a fair amount of cleaning to do. And then I'm putting in a little thing. We went to Moe's to grab some like lunch/dinner. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm just filling that in. All right, so now I'm trying to clean up all my mess, or at least most of it, and then this is the full week spread, and these are all my leftovers. So I hope you enjoy. Bye!